guys, this is Cody from ThrillingHeroics.com, and today I'm sitting here with my main man Sean Ogle from Location 180. If you want to start us off, Sean, just kind of maybe give anyone who's watching the short rundown, your background and story, like what were you doing before you came out to Asia?
So essentially my story is that, I was working this job as a financial analyst in Portland. I was wearing a suit and tie. I used to joke with people I was the only person in Oregon that actually had to wear a tie to work. But it got to the point where I wasn't happy with what I was doing, and I wanted to change. I wasn't exactly sure how to go about it, but I was in Brazil in 2009 for Carnival, and that was kind of the one catalyst that said, you know what, I don't want to be sitting behind a desk anymore. I want to be doing something a little more interesting. And so as soon as I got back, I started Location 180, started the blog, just so I could kind of start writing, start getting some thoughts out there, and try and come up with a way to do something different. I didn't really know where it was going to lead me. I just kind of started writing about the things I was thinking about, and the problems and the struggles I was having, and eventually that led me to quit my job and brought me out to Thailand, and opened up some job opportunities, and so I was able to come out here and get some work, and here I am. In a word, it was awesome. To go from sitting at a desk working for someone else, to all of a sudden having the time to put into all my own projects, kind of being solely in charge of my income and my future. It took back a lot of the control that I'd given to an employer, and so that was the most exciting part of it. When you go from working in a corporate environment to working on your own and being a digital nomad or location dependent or whatever other buzzword you want to use, you just have to take the time to learn a lot about yourself. It's because until you've been in that position, you really have no idea how you're going to react. You have no idea, how well you're going to be able to focus on the work that needs to get done. You have no idea how much you're actually going to stress over money. And so, it was a couple months of kind of getting into the groove and figuring out, it's like, okay, I know I've got this much money coming in, but how can I get, X amount of dollars more to make myself comfortable and make myself not stress out about the fact I've got bills to pay. I've got 24 hours in the day. How can I ensure that I'm still getting, solid 8 to 10 hours of work in, building the businesses and doing the work that I'm doing? Figuring out, the balance is extremely difficult. And so I think that's something that I'm just now kind of figuring out is, how to balance my life to not only enjoy all the aspects of being able to be location dependent, but also to be more productive when there's not someone looking over my shoulder saying, hey, we need you to do this and you have to get this done, because now the only one that I really have to hold myself accountable for, the only one that's going to hold themselves accountable for anything is myself, in a lot of regards. So,
well, yeah, I think for anyone who wants to make the leap from corporate life, from working in a cubicle, working 9 to 5, 8 to 5, to being self-employed, or even just working with your employer but remotely, no one ever said it would be easy. It's definitely not easy. It's full of challenges. If you're abroad, it's full of a whole new realm of challenges. Keeping yourself motivated and disciplined, and dealing with problems as they come at you. But I think it's the most liberating thing, being more in control of your own time and what you work on, and where you work from. And it's like, you get more passion out of life and work, and it's really hard, but it's worth it. And anyone who's motivated enough, I think, can definitely get there.
I would say anybody can do it, but not everyone can do it. It's the kind of thing where, you really have to be, self-motivated. You have to know what you want. All you're looking for is security, then, this isn't the way to go. I've never felt so insecure in my life. Well, maybe I did in January. I feel a little bit more secure now than when I first started this whole thing. But, anyone can do it, and it is the most liberating thing. I think about all the stuff I've done in the last 6 months and how easy it is for me to pick up and say, all right, I'm going to hop on over to the Philippines. In May, I bought a ticket at 6 p.m. and I was on a flight by 11. That was kind of cool. Hopped down to Bali a couple weeks ago. It's just like the ability to take your work and travel is really, really cool. Now I'm moving back to Portland. I'm doing all the same stuff that I've been doing, but I'm doing it from 8,000 miles away. And so, that's something that you can't take for granted. That is a really, really unique and cool ability, and I think that's one of the most beneficial things about this lifestyle. So,
yeah, I think that is really the cool thing about Sean's blog. And it's SeanOgle.com.
SeanOgle.com.
I'll link to it, but yeah, you started when you were still working in the office, and then dealing with all the kind of mental just things that go along with that, right? Before changing your lifestyle drastically, and then it's like the whole transformation ever since. And he's learned a lot and picked up a lot of good skills, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you have laid out for everyone in this product, because I think it's covers all the bases. So you mentioned, I know the last couple of months you've been to the Philippines, you've been down south to the islands here in Thailand, you've been to Bali. In your time out in this region in Southeast Asia, what are a couple of your favorite just travel experiences you've gotten to have?
Oh man, there's been so many of them. One was staying in Ubud, Bali. For those of you that don't know, Ubud is about an hour out of Denpasar, which is the capital of Bali. It's up in the rice terraces, and so there was one day that I was able to rent a motorbike and cruise around the terraces, go to a couple temples, and that was a really cool day just to see different landscapes that I had really never been exposed to.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
It was beautiful, and so that's one that really kind of sticks out in my mind. Just last week, I was down in Koh Tao and went scuba diving for the first time in my life. It's something that I've always wanted to do, but had some ear problems, so wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do it. And so, getting to scuba dive for the first time successfully, that was really, really cool. And Koh Tao is a spectacular place to do it. So if you guys have a chance, I highly recommend that. Going down to Puerto Galera in the Philippines, it's a fairly remote, small, island. Philippines, well, not such a small island, but small town. So I spent a weekend out there with Dan, and really got to just kind of relax. That was when all the chaos was going on in Bangkok, and so saw just some beautiful scenery and met a lot of cool people. So that was another one that kind of sticks out.
You were hanging out on some $1 million yacht, weren't you, with some guy with a big fancy race car?
Yeah, there was that too. We went. A friend of ours had a Formula 400 yacht. Shelby GT 500, so we got to hang out with his toys for the weekend.
I'm rocking Vans, I'm in the sand. I got a Red Bull and vodka up in my hand.